everyone, this is Darryl Christopher coming at you from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. It is a little after 4 in the morning on July 12th, 2015, so I apologize if I'm a bit tired. I've spent the last couple hours making notes, and this is for your comic book haul review. This is episode 7, part 2, and in this episode we're going to be talking about Star Wars comic books. So let's get down to it, and just a little heads up, there's going to be spoilers. So if you don't want to know, I'm going to talk about certain issues, what happens. So if you don't want to know, don't watch any further, because you'll be spoiled. But if you do want to know, or you've already read it, then feel free to enjoy. As always, I'm here for the people bored at work and willing to watch anything, the people who are comic book lovers like myself, always my awesome subscribers, and people who just stumble upon a random YouTube video like mine and just want to learn about comic books. So let's get down to it. In this episode, we shall be reviewing Star Wars Princess Leia, number 2 to 5. We have Star Wars Kanan, The Last Padawan, number 1 to 3. We have Star Wars Darth Vader, number 3 to 7. We have Star Wars number 4 to 6. And to round things out, we have Star Wars Lando number 1. So let's get down to it, and first we'll talk about Princess Leia. So in this series, we have the Empire hunting down the last of the surviving Alderaanians, and Princess Leia, despite the price on her head, is out to rescue each and every one of them. And the action in issue number 2 moves to Naboo, and there's a great scene I want to show you. This is the scene where Princess Leia encounters a portrait of the mother she doesn't know, that her real mother, the mother that she doesn't know who it is yet. And so we have this very beautiful scene here. And later in the issue, there's a little bit of some bar fight action, and we also find out that there's some betrayal going on from one of the surviving Alderaanians. So that sets things up for issue number 3. And here we are with issue number 3. In this issue, the action moves to Sullust. You might have remembered that reference from Return of the Jedi, where Vader was going on a hunch that the rebel fleet was amassing near Sullust. And now we actually see where that planet is. And in this issue, the princess and her faithful sidekick, Yvonne, acquire a ship, the Lord Jun. They encounter a second set of survivors, but these ones are not as welcoming as the first set that they encountered on Naboo. And we know for a fact that one of the survivors is relaying every single movement of Princess Leia to the Empire. And what we have here, Princess Leia becomes aware that there is a spy. So that sets things up for issue number 4. And here we have issue number 4 of Star Wars Princess Leia. And in this issue, Yvonne meets Nien Nunn, who you might remember from Return of the Jedi, who was the co-pilot to Lando on board the Millennium Falcon when they were attacking the second Death Star. So very cool. And Nien was very helpful. He evacuated the last of the Alderaan survivors from Sullust, even though he was under the watch of the Empire. And we find out that Alderaan survivor Case admits that her sister Tula is the spy. So very interesting. And later in the issue, Princess Leia turns herself over to the Empire which sets things up for issue number 5. And here we are with issue number 5. This is the epic conclusion of the series. I have to say, for the entire series, it was a very fun read. I like Princess Leia a lot. I've always liked her. So I give this one overall a 8 out of 10. It was a very fun read, and I'm going to leave it at that. So I'll let you know. So let's round things out for issue number 5. In this issue, the action moves to a planet called Skaradosh. Leia's allies prepare a rescue, and you know, it's Star Wars main character, so you know she's in Empire Strikes Back, you know she's in Return of the Jedi, so I think she's going to be okay. And we have one scene here I got to show you because I think it's absolutely great. We have the Alderaan survivors and Leia and the rest of the gang. They destroy a Star Destroyer that was after them, so very cool. As you can see at the end, she returns back to Yavin 4. This is before they evacuate the base there. And as you can see, it's a happy ending for the survivors. They escape the Empire to live another day. So there you go. So that is Princess Leia. So it was a fun read. I hope everyone out there enjoyed it as much as I did. Next up, we have Kanan, The Last Padawan, issue number 1. For this series, so far, I'd have to say it's not too bad. I'm very surprised that I'm following a series from the Star Wars Rebel show that's on Disney XD. Season 1 didn't do very much for me, aside from a couple episodes. But Season 2, beginning with Darth Vader, just it shows that it's going to be awesome from here on out. So very good. It's nice to know a character that's been put together in the Disney world. It's nice to see in the Disney XD show the return of Ahsoka Tano, so that's positively awesome. So here we learn about Kanan Jarrus, who was once Padawan, known as Caleb Doom, who fought for his master, Jedi Depa Bilaba. I hope I got that right. And as you can see, the series begins on the last battle with clone troops on a planet called Kalar. Here he is training, and as you can see, he's very happy. He says he's the happiest he's ever been. But, at the end, Order 66, Star Wars fans, you know exactly what that is. It's not going to go well. So it sets things up. And next off, we go to issue number 2. Here we are with issue number 2 of The Last Padawan. And in this issue, Order 66 is executed. And that doesn't go well. Obviously, Depa doesn't make it. And we have Kanan, still known as Caleb, encounter a gentleman by the name of Casimir, who reluctantly allows him onto his ship, which Caleb steals. And here we can see here a little action where the clone troops turn on the Jedi. We have a little action here with Casimir. So we have Caleb steals the ship. He wants to go to Coruscant. And at the end, he's surrounded by clone fighters. So very serious stuff here. It's not going well for him. You know, if we didn't know the show existed where he has further adventures and grows up, this doesn't look good at all. But he's a major character, so obviously he's going to be okay. And that sets things up for issue number 3. Here we have issue number 3 of The Last Padawan. And in this one, he, of course, he makes it. He evades the clones. He's a Jedi. You know, well, Padawan, but becoming a Jedi, so he's using the Force. He knows what to do. And in this issue, he returns to Kalar to make amends with Casimir. he decides to get into the disguise of another role, hide the fact that he was ever Jedi, and he stops carrying a lightsaber and he starts carrying a blaster, and I'll show you that page. Here's where he returns the ship to Casimir, and Casimir obviously is pissed. So we have him taking things out on the young Padawan, or former Padawan I should say, now that the Jedi are all like extinct. And here you can see him in his new role. He's got his blaster. But at the end, Casimir and the young former Padawan are under arrest, and he just keeps getting himself into situation after situation. As you can see, that's the final page, and we'll just have to wait for issue 4 to come out and see where it goes. Now, this is by far my favorite title, even more of a favorite than the flagship, just simple Star Wars title from Marvel. It's been absolutely spectacular. It's the highlight of my comic book collecting, is to get Star Wars issues from Marvel. So I'm very happy. And Darth Vader, this series has been by far the best one of the bunch. I give it all like 9.5 out of 10. Like I'd say flawless, but you know, you can't push it that far. So we have to make it just a touch, a little bit off. So we'll give it 9.5 out of 10. It's been absolutely amazing. I look forward to Darth Vader. It's the first issue I read when I get my haul back every week when it comes in. So absolutely spectacular. So here we're starting off with issue number 3 of Darth Vader, Star Wars Darth Vader. And we have here, Vader obviously has been demoted by the Emperor, who was not impressed that he let the Death Star be destroyed by that pesky Force-strong pilot. And he's now under the command of General Tag, but he's moved on to do his own things. And he's keeping it on the down low. So we have here, on the cover, we have Vader, and we see the mask of Vader. And then here you have 000, a protocol droid that can torture. And we have BT-1, an assassin droid. So this is like the droid family all over again, except Darth Vader style. And we also have who Darth Vader encounters and enlists into his service. We have Dr. Aphra, who is a droid archaeologist. And in this issue, she's breaking into a facility on Quarantine World 3 of Kaladahian space, I believe it is. Hopefully I got that right. Kaladahian space. That's what we have here. Cool shot here of Vader flying into the facility with his funky experimental TIE fighter. Coolest one of the bunch. Does his thing. And as you can see, he helps Dr. Aphra out of a precarious situation, enlists her service. And here we have a little introduction to 000, torture droid. So bad, but we like it. Here we have BT-1. Now they're off on adventures, and Vader's out in issue number 4, which I will get to in a second. Issue number 4 right here of Star Wars Darth Vader. We have the action move to Geonosis. If you remember, that was where the Clone Wars began in Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. And let's take a look. He's there to acquire a droid army. As you can see, he's got some memories of his time with Padme. He doesn't want to talk about it, quite obviously. And obviously 000, if not for his psychotic murderous instincts, is very much like C-3PO. Oh my, you know, like a little bit emotional. Very cool. And here we are here where he encounters one of the Geonosians to, as you can see, with its eggs of its children. That's not going to go over very well with Darth Vader. Obviously, no one messes with him. He's the man. Oh, here we go. We got a prisoner here. 000 is going to do some torturing. He kills the man, and he finds out about the Emperor. He's got some replacements in mind for Vader, so Vader's really not having a good time there, but well, I think he's having a good time. And that sets things up for issue number 5. So awesome. I love these books. Issue number 5 of Star Wars Darth Vader. Let's take a look at this. So this is where Vader encounters Silo 4. He's the one that's who's trained and put together Vader's replacements. Basically, these are neither Sith or Jedi. They are cybernetically enhanced warriors. So as you can see here, they call themselves the successors to the Force. Here we have Vader with some of the battle droids left over. And we have 000, of course. And let's see who his replacements are. Here's the first two. They look very Jedi-like, but if they're wanting to be replacements for the Emperor, in terms of his apprentice, they're not so Jedi-like at all. And as you can see here, this is Silo 4. And here we go. We got a whole bunch of them here. So, and there's one little surprise at the end. The Emperor is there. Vader thinks he can keep things on the down low. Emperor always knows what's going on. And at the end, the Emperor tells Vader, time to do some work. He's got a fight on his hands here. So that sets things up for issue 6. Is this not awesome or what? I swear every issue is like a revelation into goodness. It's absolutely amazing. Here we have Darth Vader number 6. And in this issue, do you think they're gonna give Vader a challenge? Come on, we see him in Return Empire Strikes Back. Return of the Jedi, he's on a roll right now. Other than the Death Star blowing up, like he's just been. Look at him. He's just ready to go here. One by one, they keep coming, and Vader just keeps laying the smackdown. And finally, even the Emperor had enough. The ranks of the so-called replacements are thinned out. The herd has been thinned out. We have a little discussion here between the Emperor and Vader. We even go all the way back to what happened when the Emperor found him and saved his life on Mustafar. And we have the Emperor says it's his duty to teach him, to make him learn. And the Emperor wants him to be worthy. If he can do it, well, of course he can do it. And here we have the big revelation at the end. Boba Fett, who's been employed by Vader to find out who the Force-strong pilot was who destroyed the Death Star. He's got a name for Vader. You know what that name is? Skywalker. Vader here, he knows what's happening. He knows who he was. And the first guy he talks to, of course, is the Emperor. The Emperor knows. Vader finally figures out that he has a son that lived, has all sorts of memories, and at the end, he's a little pissed and eager and ambitious. So very cool stuff. Oh man, it's just so amazing. This comic book is just like the best of the best. And here we have Darth Vader number 7. Star Wars Darth Vader number 7. Let's take a look at this. As you can see from the cover, is at the former homestead of Lars Owen, who you know as his, I guess you could say, his stepfather. Yeah. And of course, that homestead was passed along to his son, Owen Lars, and his wife, Beru, who were Luke's aunt and uncle. So, as you can see, he's back on Tatooine. Very retro scene. The scene's here from the same place he was in episode 4, or Luke was, I should say. It's been a while since he's been there. He feels some impressions as he moves on to the former home of Obi-Wan. He figures out that Luke has a lot of force, but he has little or no training. Then the action moves to Sun Tool, and as you can see here, there's no resisting Vader when he's there, and he's got stormtroopers, and he's on a mission. There's no stopping him. Think a Rodian could stop Vader? No. And as you can see, he gains a little bit of bounty for the Empire, but I don't think he's going to give it to the Empire. I think he's going to keep it and do some business on his own, on the down low, even though he doesn't seem to have a good track record of getting away with it. He still does it. So very cool. Doing a little forceful altering agreements with the Hutts. We have some bounty hunters here. And at the end, the fortune, the profits, the years of profits of the Rodian gangster are Dr. Aphra has a plan with bounty hunters to steal it all. So, oh man, that was just amazing to just go through that again. Like, utterly amazing. I never get tired of this stuff. This is beautiful. All right. Now we shall get to the flagship title. Here you go. We have just plain and simple, regular Star Wars. And as you know, Star Wars now, this is 4 issues back with Marvel. From years and years, Star Wars was with Dark Horse, and they did a very excellent job. But these stories are canon, so very cool stuff. So let's start off with issue number 4. And I have to say, this series, I give it 9 out of 10. Slightly, it's just awesome, but slightly not as good as Darth Vader. Darth Vader is simply the best one of the bunch. If you just want to read one Star Wars title, or that's all you really want to get the Darth Vader. And if you have little money, then you get Darth Vader and the Star Wars. So let's take a look. So we have here, as you can see, Jabba's palace has a visitor. And check this out. We have a meeting. How cool is this? Between Darth Vader and Jabba the Hutt. You have to see that. Check it out. Amazing. We have Han and Chewie making some repairs on the Falcon. We have Luke doing some training, but it's not going well, as you can see. Luke decides he's going to go to Tatooine. Here's where Luke leaves for Tatooine. And at the end, this is the best part. We know who's working for Vader now. None other than Boba Fett. Right on. There you go. Sets things up for issue number 5. So let's get to that. And here we have Star Wars, issue number 5. And let's take a look at this. Take a look. What do we have? So we have, like in this story, in this book, we have Boba Fett. He's just going all out to acquire the name of the four-strong pilot who destroyed the Death Star. We have Luke back on Tatooine. We have some action between Han and Leia. It's kind of like the B story. Even though Han Solo is like the coolest, or one of the coolest, this is primarily been about Luke so far. And we have Boba Fett. He knows who the pilot is now. We have Luke getting into some action with the Sand People when he returns to Obi-Wan's former home. We have Han and Leia in an Imperial shuttle on a mission. And as you can see, they have some TIE fighters after them, so it's not going well. When does it ever for the Rebels? As you can see here, they've diverted away. We have someone following them in addition to the TIE fighters, but someone who knows where they're going. Here we have some more with Luke at Obi-Wan's former residence on Tatooine. And at the end, Luke is blinded, and look who shows up. Boba Fett. So that sets things up for issue number 6. So this is pretty damn cool. If you like Star Wars was my first movie when I was 4 years old. Doesn't get any better. I fell in love right away. It's always been my first love, so that's why it has a special attachment to me. Finally, we have issue number 6 of Star Wars. And let's take a look at this one. And in this issue, you know what happens. We have Luke and Boba Fett getting into a big fight. Here we go. Let's take a look at that. Here we go. A little action there between Luke and Boba Fett. We have Han and Leia hiding away from the Empire in a smuggler's hideaway that Han knows about. Here we have some more action between Boba Fett and Luke. Here we have at the end, Luke finds the box that Obi-Wan had left for him that he meant to give to him. Luke makes it out of there with his life. Of course, he's a main character. He's going to be okay. He's in 2 more movies. And here we have a surprise visitor in the smuggler's hideaway for Han and Leia. And here we find out that Han Solo has a wife. What? Everyone's going, what? I remember when I looked at this, I remember when I read it, I'm like, what? What? Han Solo has a wife? What's going on here? So we have that. And now we just have to look forward to issue number 7. Keeps on getting better and better. And here we have like the same kind of parallel story. We have Boba Fett informing Vader that the pilot's name was Skywalker. And I don't think he mentions. He says he got lucky to get out of the fight. Yeah, well, I guess he had little or no training then, so, you know, he basically went on incident to get out of that one. And here we have the same reaction. A little bit of a different vantage point scene for Vader. Cracking the windows. He's a little mad about the situation. And that concludes issue number 6. So that is what's going on. And finally, to round things out for this episode of Comic Book Hall Review, the last of the Star Wars issues I have to review, we have Star Wars Lando number 1. And this one here, very cool. It's just like the action figures in the packaging that they have. We have the variant cover of Star Wars Lando number 1, just like his action figure. Very cool. I had to pick that up. I couldn't say no to that. Here is, of course, the regular cover. And I have to say, for Star Wars Lando number 1, it was better than I thought. I give this one an 8 out of 10. I actually liked it a lot. I was very impressed. And here we go. Lando's in the middle of a caper in this one. And he's on his way to the deal of a lifetime, or so it seems. The action beginning on Imperial Colony Castel. Lando's there to try and settle his debt with a gangster known as Torin, I believe it is. He's got some sexy scenes here, and the best way to steal something is for someone to give it to you. How amazing is that? So I think the best part of this issue, though, which I'll get to right now, is that Lobot, of all people, he speaks. He even has dialogue. He has a whole set of conversation with Lando. It's absolutely amazing. We just saw him move his eyes and, you know, command people to move a certain way in Empire Strikes Back, but he's actually got quite a lot going on. Here's where we find out that his big score didn't add up to much. Basically, Torrens says that what he stole only settles 10% of his debt. And now he's on another mission to completely settle the debt. He thought he was going to pay it off, but it's not happening. Yeah, even Lobot is not impressed by this 10%. He's like, what? He's not impressed at all. So this is long before he was the administrator of Cloud City. So this is way early in the days of Lando. And as you can see here, another robbery, another caper from the man. He thinks that there's no troops there, so he can just go in and take what he needs. No fuss, no muss. He's pretty happy to make it out of there. But little does he know that the item that he acquired belongs to the Emperor. Whoa. So, pretty amazing stuff. I have to say, if you don't buy that many comic books, just pick up the Star Wars ones because you'll be very happy, especially if you love Star Wars. So, that concludes Episode 7, Part 2, Comic Book Haul Review. I am your host, Darryl Christopher, and I just want to thank you to each and every one of you who have viewed this video. And I have to say, I'm going to do a little preview of Episode 7, the next few parts that we're going to have. And the next few parts we're going to have for Episode 7, look at this. We're going to be reviewing Secret Wars. This is what I've bought for Secret Wars. It's taken up. It's the summer of Secret Wars. I haven't been reading Convergence from DC, so I don't know what's going on with that. But I've been reading Secret Wars, buying up pretty much all of the tie-in issues, and I'm not obviously going to review all this at once. I'm going to break it down into segments for you in different parts, but I'm going to go through all of this and review it for you because that's what I do. Anyways, thank you very much, everyone, and take care, and see you for the next part of Comic Book Haul Review, or the next video right here on the Reverie Soul YouTube channel. So if you want more Comic Book Haul Review, stay tuned for the next part of Episode 7. And we're going to do quite a few parts on it. Secret Wars. Stay tuned, everyone. Take care, and thanks for watching.